and welcome to Football Victoria's Club Support Series. This series of webinars is designed to assist you and your club to navigate the challenges of running a community sporting organisation and provide the tools, education and resources that can help you out throughout your journey. Today's focus will be on our volunteers, the engine room of every football club, and more specifically, how to engage and retain them post-COVID-19. As our game stretches right across the state and our nation, and in the spirit of reconciliation, we at Football Victoria would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. Now we all know that our volunteers are the lifeblood of our game, the true glue that keeps our football clubs together. Without them, our kids wouldn't get on the pitch, our games wouldn't get played, and our clubs just wouldn't function. It really cannot be understated just how valuable our club members and volunteers are to the game that we love. Volunteers perform a variety of roles within football clubs, such as team managers and coaches, canteen officers and line markers, or committee members and presidents, and many, many more, with most performing multiple roles at once. The aim of this presentation is to prompt some thoughts in your mind around how your club can engage with its volunteers and just how that might keep those volunteers within your club for years and years to come. An important aspect of volunteer engagement is to actively listen to the concerns of your volunteers. By listening to what your volunteers have to say, they will feel more involved and like they belong to your club and that their say matters. This will only encourage them to contribute time and time again. Some of the strategies that can be implemented to help engage with club volunteers are shown on the screen, such as surveying volunteers and providing other ways to receive their feedback. Now, there are many online tools such as JotForms, SurveyMonkey, and Microsoft Forms that allow easy, anonymous surveying of your volunteers. The important part here is that you really listen and take that feedback on board. Additionally, by giving volunteers responsibility or ownership of their own area or project or even team, you empower them and bring them further into the fold. This may be communications, social media, ground maintenance. Let the volunteer feel like they own this area of club operations and their sense of worth will go through the roof. Now, by evaluating position descriptions that might be in place for certain roles, you allow those volunteers to plan how this role plays out and could also be improved for those who follow in their footsteps. You can further encourage your volunteers by allowing them to develop their roles in areas that are of interest to them. For example, if they are a team manager one year and have an interest in coaching, encourage them to complete a relevant coaching course and help them register. Get them on their journey. Also use this approach to target new volunteers. For example, if you notice a young member with an interest in photography or media, approach them, tap them on the shoulder, and see if they want to sharpen their skills by covering club activities. Try and appeal to individual skill sets. A really key element here is to be flexible. Make sure all of your volunteers know that you are prepared to adjust the volunteer workload to suit their schedules wherever possible. We all know how difficult it can be to try and squeeze everything into day-to-day life, but let them know any contribution they can make, no matter how big or small, will be appreciated, no matter how it needs to be juggled. In order to build trust and confidence, make sure mistakes are treated as learning experiences, because there is no quicker way to see a volunteer hit the door than if they lose confidence in their own abilities to contribute or do the job. So make sure they know that you have their back and trust them, win or lose. And finally, in a nice segue to the second portion of this presentation, show appreciation to those who make everything our clubs do possible. Recognise the efforts of your volunteers and value their time, effort and contribution. In order to retain your volunteers, it is crucial that you reward them appropriately. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean paying them or showering them in expensive end of season gifts, but if you can do this, by all means go ahead. Now, generally speaking, volunteers just want to feel like they are a part of something bigger, playing an important role and knowing that what they do is recognised and valued. You might consider providing volunteers with free entry to club events or including them in team photos. This really builds on that sense of belonging and being a part of your club community. Or you might want to produce a star profile or a social media shout out. This could include a profile of the volunteer and a simple question and answer, or maybe a testimonial from another club person shouting out just how great that volunteer is. Now, you may want to share a photo or a video with your online club community, but just make sure you get permission from the volunteer before sharing those pictures. You might also consider incorporating volunteer recognition into your end of season presentation nights. Now, this may be by creating an annual Club Person of the Year award, which is designed to celebrate the contributions of that top shelf volunteer who really goes the extra mile for your club. Or, on the smaller end of the scale, you can provide volunteers with a certificate of recognition or a small gift. Now, this might be a voucher from one of your existing sponsors, or even just as simple as a box of chocolates and some flowers. The thought counts here more than the dollars, so make them feel appreciated. You might also wish to provide reduced registration fees for volunteers or their kids as a reward. This provides direct benefits for their hard work, but also keeps the ties to your club strong and keeps those members returning year after year. And finally, you might wish to nominate your volunteers for awards through other external organisations such as your local council, regional sports assembly, Football Victoria, or the FFA. Often we think our settings occur on too small of a stage to be recognised by bigger organisations, but I can guarantee there is no better way to celebrate the most giving people in your club than this. So don't forget to support those who support your club. It is important to always show appreciation and to recognise the efforts of your volunteers and value their contribution. Without them, everything we know in football ceases to exist. So please take this message with you as you go about your club duties. For further information on working with volunteers or any other club support matters, simply visit the Club Support portal on the Football Victoria website, and please don't hesitate to contact your local club ambassador should you have a need for further assistance. Thank you again for your time, and see you again soon.